Hi again, it's Lynn, the Canadian Stitcher. This video I have my finished objects, or FOs, the ones that have not been framed yet. Some of these I did quite a while ago. I don't actually even remember specifically when it was. It's probably at least 5 years ago. I've picked up cross stitching and put it down, and then picked it up again and put it down, and then recently picked it up about a year ago to really get back into the hobby of it, not just making these little bits and here and there. So I'll show you everything I have, and like I said, some of them I don't even know when I had gotten them or where I got the patterns from. So this is just a little heart I'll probably make into some kind of a little ornament or a stick and puff or something like that. Same with this one, it's just a little heart that I had made up. I'll probably do it up as a Christmas ornament. These two are little bathroom pictures, powder room pictures, if you want to call them that. I'll probably get these framed, just something really simple, and put them in the main bath. I am planning to do a heaven and earth mermaid for my main bathroom, but in the meantime, those can go up for now. This was, it's another one of those stamped Thomas Kincaid that you just fill in a few parts of the pattern. So for this one I did add more of the shimmering, I don't know if you can even see that, there's some shimmering kind of thread in there, and I did put a little bit more than what was called for on the pattern. I used up as much as they provided for me. So this one I started in the morning, and I had it finished by that evening. So these ones are really quick and easy to do. The next one you saw in my whips video, this is the long dog sampler foursome reel, and I numbered that one number 3. In the pattern, it called for, the way that's shown on the pattern is blue fabric with white lettering on it. I wanted to try out how the blue looks because I've seen some other floss tubers doing death by cross stitch by long dog samplers with the blue, and I think it looks so much better. I also changed the bottom of it. The pattern says from the hand of friendship, and I change it to for the love of cross stitch and add the little heart at the end. I finished this one yesterday. This one didn't actually take me very long to do. This one I had taken with me to work, and I would work on this on my lunch breaks. I have usually a light lunch, and then I'll sit and stitch for a while and kind of reset my brain to get back for work in the afternoon. So I think this one turned out really good. I'm not going to actually frame these 4 until I get all 4 of them done, because I want all the frames and the matting to be the same. So I will have a new start though coming up, because I'm going to be doing the number 4 here. Oh, you can't even see it. The 4th one on this page, and it's shown in a burgundy, but I didn't actually look at what color it is, but I did pick out a burgundy DMC floss for that one. The blue one, I forgot to tell you, it's color number 820, but from DMC. This one is another one from the foursome reel. This was just my first one, just to practice how to do a sampler. I've never stitched samplers before, and I wasn't sure how much of a challenge it was going to be. It's not actually that hard to do. It's solid one color. It's actually pretty easy. So I will be doing all of those, and then I will be starting Death by Cross Stitch. I have everything ready. This little one, again, I don't remember where I had gotten this one. It's just a little kitten with a butterfly, little kitten with a butterfly, and it came with a mat, so all I have to do is find a little frame for that one. This is a pansies picture. I believe this one came from a kit, and might have been dimensions, I'm not sure. This one I probably did about 5 years ago. There was a whole bunch that I had just rolled up and put into my craft room, and then when I was away from cross stitching, I hadn't really thought about them, and then when I pulled out my cross stitching again, I was like, oh, I've got a whole bunch to get framed too. So also with this one, find the beauty in each new day with the pansies there. Pansies are my favorite flower. This was also a piece that I worked on just on my lunch breaks at work. I started it off there, and when I was pretty close to the end of it, I brought it home, and that's when I was doing a whole bunch of finishes all at the same time. Within probably about a week, I finished, I think it was 5 different projects, so this was one of those. Very simple. This is from the Cross Country Stitching magazine also. Probably when I get a bit more organized and I have my FOs, or fully finished objects, to show you. I'll try and have the magazine available to let you know what number it is. If you're interested in this one, you might be able to find it on eBay or something like that. So when I get my finished objects done, I hope to be more organized. This one is a Candamar design. This is another Thomas Kincaid. This is Stillwater Bridge. This was a stamped one, and this was the first one, the stamped ones that I have done. So in the beginning, I tried following the pattern exactly how they showed to do it, and about halfway through I figured out, or read, that you don't actually follow the pattern. It's just sort of a loose guideline of where to place the colors with what's below it that's already stamped on there. So the second side then I did more freehand, and it looks good either way. I didn't backstitch the bridge. It called for white backstitching, and I didn't like the way it looked, and I also did not backstitch around the lamps that are on the bridge. I just didn't think that they looked that good with the backstitching on them. I did fill in some more on this one in the water on the little river there. So this was the first Thomas Kincaid that I did. I do have more of these kits because I was on a buying spree at one time when those were popular, and I bought several of them. I don't want to just let them go to waste. I plan on doing some of my stitching from my stash. I had counted up at one time when I was going through my craft room, and I believe that I had 50 kits. 50. So I want to stitch from stash as much as I can, but also to do some more newer kind of things and get into the Hades. I have lots of Hade designs that I'm really excited to start working for. So it's going to be a combination of some new stuff and some old. So the last full cover, or last finished object that I have is my first full coverage. I'll just show you. So this is, I believe it's called Early Spring. I had gotten the kit a long time ago from eBay. Got it with two other kits, and when I had first looked at the patterns of them, I thought, how would anybody possibly finish one of these? Like, how do you do this? And so the recommendations are to start at the top right corner and do 1-inch squares. I couldn't get that with my brain. So what I ended up doing, and as you saw with my magnetic board setup, I stitch cross country. I do one whole page at a time with feathering over into the second page. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is being my first one. I consider this a learning piece. And this is where the first page ended. And there's a very distinct line there that you can see where the end of the row was tighter than when I started the second row. So as I was doing this, I did the first one page, I did the second one to there, where there's a line also, and then I realized that you could actually see that line running vertically there. So that's when I learned and started practicing to feather some of the stitches over onto the next page, and then when you start that page, do the same thing and feather over into the next page. Worked out much better. I looked at this really closely. I cannot see where there are horizontal lines for where the pages end, so that just must be the way I stitch. I tighten them up on the ends there, but I can't see any column lines. So for future full coverage products, I will do just the feathering across the page, just to make sure that there's no firm line there. So that's all of my finished objects. If you have any questions, leave them in the bar below. I decided that I'm going to do questions and answers and feedback to your comments on Saturdays. I'll have more time on Saturdays and be more relaxed. I would probably prefer to sit down and do a whole bunch of that all at one time instead of in little bits and pieces. So I hope you liked my finished objects video, and I'll see you again. Bye.